Welcome, everyone, to the 18th session of Council for October 10th, 2023. Our in-person meetings have resumed with a hybrid format option where members of Council and the public can still join electronically via Zoom. The meeting is being live streamed and recorded and will be available on the Township website. All rules apply to the meeting as if everyone was attending in person. And if there's a problem with technology impacting the proceedings of a meeting, the meeting may be recessed at the direction of the mayor to confirm the electronic format is performing effectively before proceeding further with the agenda. In the event of a connection or service disruption to those attending electronically, the mayor may recess the meeting to allow for attempts to reconnect. So we're calling this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. And the next item on the agenda is the playing of the national anthem. So if we all rise for the national anthem. At this time, I would like to just, for the record, mention that Councillor Willis has sent her regrets for this evening's meeting. We acknowledge that we are being hosted on ancestral lands of the Haudenosaunee, Mississauga, and the Omama-Winini people. We acknowledge and welcome the presence of all Indigenous peoples, including the Métis, Inuit, and other First Nations from across this vast land, who also make this place home. The lands we are on today are recognized in the Two-Row Wampum, Dish with One Spoon Treaty, Treaty 27, and the Crawford Purchase. So the first 15 minutes of a regular council meeting is set aside for open forum. Any individual may address council once and for no more than 3 minutes to voice opinion on subjects of municipal concern, excluding matters subject to the public meetings. All information provided during the meeting is considered part of the public record. So I'd ask if there's anyone in the virtual audience, if you wish to speak to council this evening under open forum, use the raise hand feature and you can be brought into the meeting. None? Thank you. So the next item up is confirmation of agenda. No additions or changes. In that case, we would take a motion that the agenda for the October 10th, 2023 be adopted as circulated. Do I have a mover? Deputy Mayor Townend, seconded by Councillor Ennis. All in favor, please raise a hand. Motion is passed. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof this evening? Being none, Adoption of the minutes of September 25th, 2023. Were there any errors or omissions noted by members of council? Being none, we would take a motion that the minutes of the 17th session regular council, September 25th, 2023 be adopted as circulated. Do I have a mover? Councilor Broderick, so moved, seconded by Councilor Ennis. All in favor, please raise a hand. Motion is passed. First item up, Integrity Commissioner Services reappointment. Good evening. Do you have anything in addition to the report to share? Or? Any questions? Thank you. Any questions for clarification from council this evening? Seeing none. The recommendation is that the report from the Township Clerk, Corporate Services Department, October 10th, 2023, Integrity Commissioner Services reappointment be received, and that the Aird and Barreless be reappointed for a 2-year period to provide Integrity Commissioner Services for Loyalist Township, and that the Mayor and CAO be authorized to execute the agreement with Aird and Barreless for the provision of services of an Integrity Commissioner. Do I have a mover? Deputy Mayor Townend, so moved. Excuse me. Councillor Budrek, seconded. Any comments from council? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor, please raise a hand. Motion is passed. Thank you. Good evening. Anything in addition to the report?
No, nothing further to add, Your Worship.
So the first report I should say is for the drainage pipe easement south of Highway 33 between part lots 19 and 20 concession broken front. Any questions from council for staff this evening on this item? Councillor Broderick.
Okay, page 8, the one with the photo. I'm just curious, I got a couple of questions about my own ignorance here, but so we talk about road allowance. Who actually owns that property?
Through the mayor to Councillor Broderick, yes, the township owns that property.
And that, just a question on the piece of property, I guess it would be to the west side on the lake. So is that access through that, right through that, through what we're selling out to the province?
Through the mayor to Councillor Broderick, they do access through the road allowance. However, we aren't selling anything to the province. Rather, there's an existing drainage pipe within the right of way. So this is just to formalize that pipe through an easement. So if we were to ever sell it to a budding neighbor or anyone, that existing pipe would be safe for repair or maintenance, and it's just to formalize what's already there.
Could you just use your mic, please?
Loud enough today, just so I'm clear then. So you're basically, township is basically for $1 giving Ontario the right to fix the drain and do what.
That's correct.
Any other questions from council? Being none. Recommendation that the report from the Development Services Division, October 10th, 2023, Ministry of Transportation Drainage Pipe Easement south of Highway 33 between parts of lot 19 and 20, concession broken front, be received, and the bylaw 2023-071, being a bylaw to authorize the mayor and CAO to execute documentation with the Ministry of Transportation pertaining to an easement between parts of lot 19 and 20, concession broken front, being part 2 on reference plan 29R 11260, south of Highway 33, be enacted and passed. Do I have a mover? Councillor Parks, so moved, seconded by Councillor Broderick. Any comments? Being none, call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. Lakeside Ponds, Phase 2, Stage 3. Anything further beyond the report this evening? Thank you. Any questions for staff for clarification? Seeing none. The recommendation is that the report from the Development Services Division, October 10th, 2023, Lakeside Ponds, Phase 2, Stage 3, Block 102, Part Lot Control Request, be received, and that bylaw 2023-072, being a bylaw to lift part lot control requirements for Block 102 on Registered Plan 29M69 for the Lakeside Ponds, Phase 2, Stage 3, Plan of Subdivision be enacted and passed. Do we have a mover? Deputy Mayor Townend, and seconded by Councillor Ennis. Any comments this evening? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. The next item is Chesterfield Terrytown Bakers landscaping budget request. And I just asked that, is there anything to add to the report this evening?
Nothing further.
Thank you. Any questions for clarification from council? Councillor Parks.
Thank you, Your Worship. Not sure if this is for Mr. Grattan or Mr. McDonald. This has been an ongoing issue with this work that was done. Just a couple of points that I'm just trying to clarify. The work was originally given to a general contractor or I guess a general contractor, and then they set the work out for the landscape.
Your mic shut off.
Sorry. So I guess what I'm trying to find out, or what I'm trying to clarify, is that normally there's a holdback in the private sector. I'm not sure if it applies to public funding also, but there's a holdback to a certain point when those funds are released, when the deficiencies are taken care of. If those were deficiencies on the job, why are the taxpayers being asked to pay the other $77,000?
Yeah, through you,
Yes.
Mayor. Staff took a report to council last September, I believe it was. And at that time, we identified that the work had been completed in accordance with the contract requirements, with a few minor exceptions that would still be cleaned up. But then following up on direction from council at that meeting, a secondary report came back to council in December of last year, and council directed staff to complete additional work.
Any other questions for clarification? Councillor Ennis.
Thank you. Through the mayor. If I recall, when we approved the restoration budget, it was either 50-50 or 60-40 split, utilities and general rate. Is this remain in alignment with that, or is this different from that?
Through you, Your Worship. Yes, it does. The shortfall when we did the original budget was on the general rate side, and there was actually extra funds on the utility rate side already in the cost center. So the funds we're asking are all general rates, so it'll still maintain that 50-50 approximately split.
Any other questions? Councillor Budrick.
Will this be all the money that we will see being required to fund and finish this project?
Your Worship. Yes, we've basically accepted the work now. We'll pay for it, and that should be it.
Councillor Broderick.
Thank you. And through your worship, just page 3 near the bottom there, just maybe clarify what it means by the landscape restoration work on Chesterfield Drive has now been completed. However, the sod not yet been accepted by staff. What does that mean?
Through you, Your Worship. At the time I wrote the report, the sod was not, the way it's written in the specification is it has to be growing and thriving in order for us to accept it and pay for it. At that time, we had that really hot spell kind of into the middle of September, and it was not. So we directed the contractor to do some maintenance and watering to get it up to a standard we would accept. It's essentially there now. We'll be accepting it this week and paying for it this week.
Any other questions for clarification? Being none, Recommendation is that the report from the Engineering and Environmental Division, October 10th, 2023, read Chesterfield Baker's Terryton landscaping budget request be received, and the council authorize the transfer of $77,000 in general rate funds from cost center 180027, Amherst Island flood damage repair, to cost center 190005, Urban Road, Chesterfield, Terryton, Bakers. Do I have a mover? Councillor Broderick, so moved, seconded by Councillor Parks. Any comments from council? Call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. Thank you. So notice a motion or direct motion. Are there any direct motions for this evening's meeting? Seeing none, any notice of motion to be presented this evening? Seeing none. Consent agenda. As we know, there's only one here. We can take them all as one, since there is only one. Do we have a mover? Deputy Mayor Town, so moved. Seconded by Councillor Ennis. Any comments? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. Updates from members appointed to county council, committees, and local boards. Does anyone have anything to bring forward this evening? Seeing none, I'll note that the county council portal is highlighted there. If anyone wishes to go and see any of the minutes or agendas for county council, council and committees, they're available. Members' privilege, anything to bring forward under members' privilege this evening? Councillor Broderick.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to thank the staff for the community town halls. We had a hardy staff that were out for 5 sessions, and hopefully that's sort of a harbinger of better things, getting out in the community and letting people know that we're there, not just for those contentious issues. And I really will miss those brownies.
Thank you. Any other items? Seeing none. Thank you for bringing that forward, and I agree on the brownies too. Confirmatory bylaw. Do we have a mover for the confirmatory bylaw this evening? Councillor Ennis. So moved, seconded by Councillor Budrick. All in favor? Motion is passed. Upcoming meeting dates are there, and we'll just note that the October 30th meeting has been rescheduled to November 9th at 6 p.m. And do we have a mover to adjourn the meeting this evening? Deputy Mayor, so moved, seconded by Councillor Ennis. All in favor, raise a hand. Motion is passed. We are adjourned at 7:18. Thank you.